All right, this is episode number 16 of the Extra Point. I'm the Relentless Rebel. Welcome to the program. Earlier this week, I was approached by some viewers, and they asked me, well, why don't you talk about college football? Well, guess what, guys? You're in for a treat, because tonight on the Extra Point, this is the college football roundup. Scores from around the top 25 in the Southeastern Conference tonight, as these games have either just ended or are still in progress at the time of taping. But let's start with the number one team in the nation, the Alabama Crimson Tide. They traveled to Fayetteville, Arkansas. It was the biggest game of the weekend in the top 25. The Razorbacks were up by as much as 20-7 in the third quarter, but Alabama came storming back despite Greg McElroy's 2 interceptions. Ryan Mallett threw 3. Even though he threw for 357 yards, Mallett throws 3 interceptions. Alabama comes storming back. The number one team in the nation will remain the number one team in the nation. The Alabama Crimson Tide will won this one today, 24-20. Terrell Pryor accounted for 6 touchdowns today. 4 passing, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. The Ohio State Buckeyes defeated Eastern Michigan today, 73-20. The number 3 ranked team in the country, the Boise State Broncos, hosted the number 24 ranked Oregon State Beavers. Kellen Moore throws 3 touchdown passes to go along with his 288 yards. Boise State defeats Oregon State 37-24 to remain undefeated. On Friday, TCU traveled across town to Dallas to take on Southern Methodist, and despite Andy Dalton throwing 2 interceptions, TCU still won 41-24. At the time of this taping, and I stress at the time of this taping because this game is still in progress, at halftime, the Oregon Ducks lead the Arizona State Sun Devils 28-24. This one back and forth as we expect Pac-10 football games to go. The Nebraska Cornhuskers, ranked number 6 in the country, had trouble today against South Dakota State. Now keep in mind, this is the same South Dakota State team that went into Minneapolis, Minnesota and upset the Golden Gophers. They couldn't do it today against Nebraska, but Nebraska had trouble. They turned the ball over 3 times. Nebraska hangs on to win, though, 17-3. The last time Texas hosted UCLA in Austin, it was 1997. UCLA was unranked. They went into Austin and won 62-3. Well, today, Texas turns the ball over 5 times. UCLA defeated the number 7 ranked Longhorns 34-12. Enough said. I bet you any money that this was the last time Texas will host UCLA. The Oklahoma Sooners, ranked number 8, had to travel up to Cincinnati and took on a very tough Cincinnati Bearcat football team. For Oklahoma, Landry Jones passed for 370 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Sooners defeated the Bearcats 31-29. The Florida Gators, ranked number 9, found an offensive rhythm for basically the first time all season. Trey Burton for Florida accounted for 6 total touchdowns. Florida had no problems with the Kentucky Wildcats, 48-14. Number 11, Wisconsin, all over Austin Peay, 70-3, 618 yards of total offense for the Badgers. Another hard-fought football game on the plains at Auburn. Number 17, Auburn, defeated the number 12 ranked South Carolina Gamecocks 35-27. South Carolina turned the ball over 4 times. The Utes of Utah, ranked number 13 in the country, defeated San Jose State today 56-3. Utah allowed and held San Jose State to only 172 yards of offense. As we speak, in progress, late third quarter, Cal leads number 14 Arizona 6-3. A game that just ended in Baton Rouge. This is a game that makes Tiger fans want to throw up because the offense still can't seem to find a rhythm and still can't seem to get things going. But they're winning football games because of that defense. The number 15 ranked LSU Tigers defeated West Virginia 20-14. You want to talk about bad offense from LSU? They won. They only had 229 yards of total offense. There is no rhythm on the offensive side of the ball in Baton Rouge. Stanford traveled to South Bend to take on Notre Dame. Stanford walked out of there 4-0 for the first time since 1986. Stanford defeated Notre Dame 37-14. The number 18 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes, they were lambasted by Arizona last week. They defeated Ball State today 45-0. Ricky Stanzi threw 3 touchdown passes to go along with his 288 yards through the air. On Thursday, Miami defeated Pitt 31-3. Ja'Cory Harris throws for 248, 2 touchdowns, and he threw 2 interceptions. He's got to get his mind right there because he threw interceptions against Ohio State 2 weeks ago. He throws 2 more against Pitt on Thursday, but and their incredible defense against Pitt gave Pitt no shot. According to the ESPN USA Today coaches poll, the USC Trojans are ranked number 20. They were on the road up in Pullman, Washington to take on the Cougars of Washington State and had no problems putting up 613 yards of total offense and winning 50-16. Denard Robinson was injured 9 minutes into the football game, but even 9 minutes into the football game, the Wolverines had busted this one wide open. Bowling Green had no shot. The Wolverines put up 721 yards of offense. That's a Michigan Stadium record. That's a school record. Michigan wins 65-21. Penn State had all sorts of trouble with Temple today, but ended up winning this football game and surviving. Evan Royster put up 187 yards on the ground as they defeated Temple 22-13. Michigan State without Mark D'Antonio this week because D'Antonio suffered a heart attack last week after Michigan State's win over Notre Dame. But Sparty had no problems against Northern Colorado, 45-7 today. The 25th ranked Spartans put up 532 yards of offense. Now to other SEC action. Tennessee was only able to put up Tennessee only put up less than 300 yards of total offense. Matt Sims throws 3 touchdown passes. UAB had to come back into this football game, and as they came back, they piled up the yardage. They put up 544 yards of offense, but they couldn't complete the comeback. The game went into double overtime. The Vols defeated UAB 32-29. Georgia falls to 0-3 in the Southeastern Conference. Coach Mark Richt is now what I'd like to call on the proverbial hot seat. The Bulldogs lose to Mississippi State in Starkville tonight, 24-12. Brandon Bolden, the Ole Miss running back, put up 228 yards on the ground by himself, 2 touchdowns. The Rebels put up 578 yards of offense. Well, in Oxford, there's no problems on the offensive side of the ball, except for last week when they lost to Vanderbilt. But what's got to happen in Oxford, they need to find a way to get the defense going. But other than that, it was okay tonight. Ole Miss defeated Fresno State 55-38. If you keep viewing this this video later on in the week, I will try to post some sort of final score of the 2 games that are still in progress out in the Pac-10. But other than that, this has been your college football roundup here on episode 16 of The Extra Point. I'm the Relentless Rebel. Join me on Tuesday where I will completely wrap up and round up week number 3 in the National Football League. All sorts of great action that will culminate tomorrow and will end up culminating Monday night as the Chicago Bears take on the Green Bay Packers. But until then, I'm the Relentless Rebel, and I'll be seeing you guys down the road.